Matt Stringer, I'm a centre for the Melbourne Mustangs. I play in the Australian Ice Hockey League.
How did you find out about ice hockey in Melbourne?
I originally started in Adelaide. So basically, just through radio advertising mostly. I think we sort of won some tickets to a game. I think they do the same sort of thing here in Melbourne. So advertising on the radio when there's sort of big games coming up, that sort of thing. So
What made you play hockey as opposed to like other more common like team sports such as football and
yeah, I think it was mostly just because I really liked the Mighty Ducks movies as a kid. So yeah, just always had a bit of an interest, and then I think just by did a sort of come and try, and because I was playing quite a lot of hockey, I never really got into footy or cricket or anything like that. So I played one game of footy, so it was a long career, but.
was it hard to find a club to play for when you were younger? Or?
No, generally, so we do you do kind of like a come and try. They teach you how to play. You do some lessons, skating lessons, hockey skills, using a stick, basic sort of things. There's a few different ways that you can go through that. But then sort of once you hit a certain level, they're pretty active with sort of giving you an avenue to getting into a team. Because that's what's good for the sport. So they sort of try and feed you through to a team.
What are the junior competitions like? If there's
at the moment, Victorian Junior is there's sort of like a few different divisions going up, sort of starting out with non-contact and then getting up to contact as you get a bit older. It's a little scarce at the moment just because we're struggling with ice time in Victoria, but yeah, it's still there and sort of feeding up through all the way into the senior sort of.
What are your thoughts on the participation in ice hockey? Like, is it a growing sport, or like you said, it's
definitely a growing sport. I think at the moment it's getting close to capacity, just in the fact that there's only 2 ice rinks in Melbourne, Docklands and Oakley, and for the sport to continue to grow at the rate which it wants to, because people like hockey, it's it tends to stick with people. People tend to stick with it, so for it to keep growing and to get bigger, it definitely needs sort of expansion with more ice rinks and that sort of thing. And once we get that, it's it's sort of a matter of time sort of thing. So
what was your pathway as a junior, like to where you are now, obviously playing with Melbourne?
So basically, started out in Adelaide, just did skating lessons and then like a hockey academy sort of thing, and then sort of went through your younger juniors all the way up through sort of have state teams all the way through the juniors, like your 13s, 15s, 18s, that sort of thing. And you just sort of play your way up the ranks, and then eventually you sort of get into, they do like a junior draft for the senior competition. So you get sort of like a senior draft, which will just be people coming across from different areas and going into the clubs, and then for the juniors I'll run a separate one so that you can sort of separate it, so the juniors are getting into clubs and being able to kind of step up into the more senior roles.
How did the Mustangs identify you? Talent ID.
Generally, they're pretty good with like the coaches of both the Mustangs and the Ice. They're pretty good with like identifying the young kids, going to watch some of the competitions and sort of coming up through. It's not a huge sport, so you tend to hear from here and there, and kids playing on Australian teams and that sort of thing. And personally, I just had a coach who was pretty involved in my local club, who was involved in starting the Mustangs, so sort of poached me early, I suppose.
What's the next step? Like you'll, say in your position, you'll have to take to say play for Australia, or once you're in that AIHL sort of competition?
So basically, like for the AIHL, it's pretty much the next step is playing in the Australian men's team. From there, that's pretty much your pinnacle for Australia. A lot of people tend to try their luck overseas, so trying to get paid to play and that sort of thing. But that's sort of big sort of commitment. Got to move overseas and try and finding spots in teams and things like that. And there is avenues there for it. Personally, I just sort of chose to work.
What do you think is needed to broaden that pathway from obviously grassroots, I guess, to that Australia level?
Yeah, I think the main thing is just ice time. So basically, more rinks allowing people to be on the ice more. I know, like we have quite a few people that have like come across from other countries to play, and all of them have said, when they were kids, they were on the ice once, twice a day, every day, basically the whole time they were, coming up through the junior ranks. So, whereas over here, you kind of get, you might get 1 to 2 trainings a week, maybe 1 or 2 games. So you're not on the ice nearly enough compared to like the other countries to sort of be at that sort of elite level. So if we can get kids on the ice more often, playing more, the coaching comes with that, being able to improve skills and that sort of thing over a number of years. And you just sort of get enough of a pool of kids to do that, and it just sort of feeds up through and improves hockey in Australia, and also grows its, as the players get better, it grows in its people's awareness of it too.
But where does ice hockey sort of attract participants from like different sports? Is there different sports that they go to,
ice hockey and inline hockey have always sort of been a little bit hand in hand. They being fairly similar, they tend to cross paths a little bit. There's been a lot of people switch and change, and people play both. I mean, I've played both pretty much all the way through juniors, so they tend to lend from each other a bit. In terms of other sports, it's pretty much just sort of people that tend to take a bit of an interest. I suppose other people with interest in American sports tend to get a bit more exposure to it, so they're more aware of it and more likely to try it. I've had a few people that have played a bit of gridiron and that sort of thing, as well as hockey, a bit of baseball, that sort of thing, which is kind of that American sport focus. So, yeah.